East London forever. Welcome back to E20 forever and ever. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. To my right is Jay. You know who he is, and we're here to talk about that famous victory in North London. Yes, it was great. Jay, how are you doing, sir?
I am terrific, mate. I'm probably just out the back end of a 2-day hangover, but James has got the party tunes on. It felt like a party all weekend. Those of you that went into the office today, I'm sure if you were surrounded by Arsenal fans, you didn't rub it in their noses at all. I'm sure you didn't wind anyone up out there. I'm sure you were perfectly respectable. I am terrific, mate. I hope everyone in chat's well. How are you, James?
I'm good, mate. I'm really, really good. Arsenal fans can hold that L. Do you know what I mean? See that there? That's what they're holding. The big L, baby. The big L. Listen, they was saying quite a lot. I even went to the local barbers up near me, and there was an Arsenal fan in there saying West Ham fans are deluded and we're going to smoke them 4-0 in the barbers. And one of the barbers looked at me and laughed because he knows obviously that I do the YouTube. And yes, we had the last laugh, didn't we, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what I mean? We really did. Jay, you was there Saturday afternoon. I'm going to be honest, before I let you land and everything, the atmosphere there looked fucking unreal. I'm going to be honest.
Do you know what? And I saw Match of the Day again. It doesn't even get close to like replicating what the atmosphere was like. It was absolutely sensational the whole day. I've done a few away days in my time. I was just like saying this very briefly before we went live. I've done a few away days. I don't get to go very often. It's everyone knows it's hard enough to get tickets. I somehow got lucky in the ballot for this game. Haven't done a London derby away from home in about 15 years. It was special, mate. It was absolutely outrageous. Even like the songs were amazing. The fans were obviously incredible. Didn't hear Arsenal support the whole time. I've got George Urphy and Caelan Casey like half a dozen seats down from me, and was like, this is absolutely insane, absolutely insane. And the fans were rewarded. We didn't stop singing the whole time. Maybe the last 10 minutes, it was like you could cut the tension with a knife for the last 10 minutes. It was brutal. And I was going to post this. I had my my smartwatch on during the game. My heart rate at the end of the game was 171. 171. I was absolutely bricking it at the end. Yeah. Like I was on the verge of a medical emergency, and anyone who was there anyone who watched the game was probably exactly the same. Mate, unbelievable day. To like start at the beginning, I was in the pub beforehand. A gentleman, I can't remember his name, recognized me from the channel, and I had a good chat with him. Shout out to that man wherever you are. Do drop a comment with your name. I sunk so many pints, I can't remember what your name was. But a really nice bloke and said some really nice things. So appreciate that. That was fun. Shout out to Lucas as well, right? Me, Mitch, and Lucas were sat there in the pub pre-game, sat there with the boys. Lucas, from minute one, was like, we're turning these over today. There was never a doubt in that boy's mind. And I was there like, my heart says we're going to nick it, but my head says we're going to lose this and lose it quite heavily. And I think we were all probably feeling the same. Lucas, from minute one, was like, we're winning today. And it was unbelievable that he got it bang on. The atmosphere going to the ground again was incredible. All you can hear is West Ham fans walking up there. You get in there, and from minute one, we were just on it, weren't we? We were absolutely sublime from minute one. The best thing, like from watching the first half, we're about 20 minutes into the game, and I turned to the lads I was with, and I was like, you can actually see that we are doing to Arsenal what teams have been doing to us. And we didn't just play a back five and sit deep. We played a back three. We pushed up the pitch and we went, go through us then. We were literally like, make a run in behind and see if you can beat the offside trap. And they just couldn't. And when we did then have to revert into like a lower defensive position, we just had them red. Like the crosses into the box weren't working. Ethan Nwaneri, absolute fraud. He got absolutely incarcerated by a bloke making his first Premier League start, who we'll come on to in a bit, by the way, because I've got a lot to say about that man. And like Trossard was the only one trying to make runs in behind, and he couldn't get in between the centre back Todibo and Wan-Bissaka. He just couldn't do it. Declan Rice was trying to operate in the same positions as him. They cramped each other. It didn't work. Defensively, it was just a perfect performance in the first half. Wan-Bissaka at right wing back. How on earth we've turned this guy who supposedly can't go forward into the most exciting right wing back in the Premier League at the moment? I've got no idea. He was absolutely unbelievable, and the way him and Bowen interlink for that for the goal is just sensational. How he just like squares up his man Calafiori and just goes, I'm going to create half a yard and I'm going to stick it on Bowen's bonce, and
Yeah,
number 41 loses his man and Bowen tucks it away. It was perfect, wasn't it? I forgot. I've got another shout out to give out, which is to the guy who stood next to me. So I'm there with the lads. There's two mates that I'm there with, and we squeezed into like effectively two seats. It's an away day, in it, so we were all standing anyway. Anyway, we're walking through, and there's this lad there. Must have been in his 50s. He's there with his daughter, and I turned to the lads I was with. She must have been about 6 years old, standing on her seat. It was really, really sweet. It was really touching to see. And I turned to the lads and I was like, right, boys, make sure I mind my language around this little girl, right? Within 2 minutes, he's explaining some of the most vile chants you've ever heard to his 6-year-old daughter. And I was absolutely pissing myself. It was really funny. So shout out to him and his daughter. She looked like she had a great time. And her favourite song was Do Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And she was rewarded for her faith because I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And you switch around to the second half. Again, we were fantastic. I could genuinely sit here and I could talk about every individual player, about how superb they were, and in each different way, how good they were. I like a moment that reminded me of like how good Graham Potter actually is was I jumped to the second half. One thing I noticed in the first half was the way we engineered space to find Ward-Prowse like free, sort of 40 yards out on the right-hand side. Souček had already ghosted into the back post and we tried to play a diag in. And Souček kept winning the header. Granted, he didn't get one on target. But it was just... And I turned to the lads and I was like, it's just nice to see we've got a game plan. You could see it was exactly what we were trying to do. And we knew we weren't going to have tons of the ball. We didn't want tons of the ball. But when we got it, we had identified how we were going to get that overload at the back post. And it was just really, really good to see. That second half is where I thought Kudus just like came into his own. And he was so, so good on the ball. Everything going forward, every time we found him, it looked like Mo of old. It looked like he was getting the ball and you were going, he's going to get us up the pitch here, which he's lacked all season. So it was so nice to see him like manage to switch it back on and prove the doubters wrong and prove how much quality he's got. The red card, right? How on earth he didn't give that as a straight red and he had to rely on VAR to basically do his job for him. We were baffled. Everyone around me, we were absolutely gobsmacked that he only put a yellow card up. And thank God VAR came and like stepped in. He bottled that.
He bottled that.
100%. Mate, like we could all see it, right? Like literally, Mo takes one touch and he bends it around the keeper and it goes in. The keeper's nowhere, like absolutely in no man's land. And Mo's just going to bury it. Like he properly bottled it. But look, and after that, they went down to 10. And instead of like trying to expand too much and kick on, we were just sensible. And then we dropped in a bit deep and we went, all right, how are you going to break us down with 10 men when you haven't broken us down once this game? And we were perfect. We defended perfectly. I see Damien saying accept Mav. I know he was a little bit ropey, but it was other end of the pitch, and I was biting my fingernails down and trying not to go into cardiac arrest. So I didn't necessarily notice it too much. But like truth be told, he was still dealing with those diagonal balls. Souček dropping in to help Kilman and Mavropanos win those headers when the diags were coming over was, again, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. The Ward-Prowse doubters have been silenced as well. 1.5 games, he's been sublime the whole time. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was absolutely excellent. He may have got burned by a goalkeeper, but like the less said about that, the better. And like considering he had led the press for like 100 minutes by that point, getting burned by a guy who's made one sprint in the entire game, I was like, fair enough. It was quite funny actually. But they pulled through and in fairness to like a lot of the Arsenal reaction I've seen, the vast majority of their fans are like, yeah, West Ham just done us. Because we did. We were just better in every area of the pitch. We knew what we needed to do. We got the goal and we just didn't let them play. So I couldn't be prouder.
We've actually got a person in the chat who's going to come on. Anyone who knows Matt, he's actually a good Arsenal fan. Yeah, and I won't go in on him deep, but other ones I will go very, very deep. You know what I mean? So let's bring him in. Matt.
Come on. Yeah. Listen.
What are you saying about that on Saturday, mate?
Listen, I told you, look, yeah, losing to West Ham's the worst for me because my dad's a West Ham fan. And he always messaged me after like he didn't watch the game. Oh, what happened there? Oh, no. You know what? I did say, James, I did think we would beat you guys, but I was basing it on the last game we played at Emirates. We had so many chances. You won 2-0. And I did say this season, West Ham, I predict top 4 for them early in the season. I was a bit mad. But they have the makings of a good team. All West Ham really needed was a manager that was smart. And I think Jay just alluded to it about second half. You didn't go crazy. You know, it's easier when a team's got 10 men to just go, let's go get 3-4. They're like, no, let us. And I'll tell you something about Arsenal. When we play teams like you guys, Villas, the Fulhams, the Newcastles, when you put the base in place and you've got players that just adhere to what the manager told, we find it hard to break down. We have no pace up top. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say, because we had Moraine up top, we didn't beat you guys. I think you guys were just better on the day. I think as well, Emirates is too nice a place, James. I said it. Do you remember? I said, it's like, and Mohamed Kudus lit it up. I look at these players, they probably go to Emirates and go, do you know what? Like, it's a nice place to play. Let's get a goal. And you scored at the right time. Perfect. Yeah. Before half time, he's gone in. The team talk different. Graham Potter at 0-0 was probably going, let's keep going for it. At 1-0, it's like, they've got to come at us. And we didn't have a lot.
I'm going to be honest. I completely agree. I agree with what Jay was saying about the defence. I thought Scarles was excellent, mate. I'm going to be honest. He blew me away, that kid, because he comes in, the pressure's on him, first start in a West Ham shirt in the Premier League, and he dealt with everything on that side. Literally dealt with everyone.
Why us? Reece Oxford did the same as well. Why is it us? Leave us alone. And that's all I thought. When I saw it, I went, Ollie, why are you doing what Reece did? Like, please, like
every year, Matt, we're gonna do that, son.
No. Honestly,
Yeah, like
I just wanted to quickly say on that, like it's actually a comparison we briefly talked about before the game, and we mentioned it I think last week, and I think the difference was with Reece Oxford, it just come out of nowhere, and we were all baffled. With Ollie Scarles, like from 2 years ago when he made his debut in the Conference League at 16 years old, he got man of the match in that game, and we were like, Jesus, this kid's special. And then you've seen him start to get minutes and start to get games at Villa. Again, I was at Villa away when he made his first start this season, and he got man of the match in that game, and he was sensational. Yesterday was the litmus test for has he got it? Like what level is this guy actually going to be at? He was flawless. He was absolutely flawless. I could not believe how comfortable he was. Not only like on the ball, he'd get it, he was composed, he would move it, but he reads the game so well, and he reminds me so much of when Rice was coming through at that age as well. The way he composes himself, the way he carries the ball, the way he reads the game, and like times his tackles perfectly.
He's passing.
He's sublime. And the only thing that will happen is his passing will get better. His delivery is already pretty good, but it'll just get more confidence and he'll get more experience. This kid, I maintain, and I've been thinking about this, I think he plays for England before the end of the calendar year. I think he'll be that good. And England are crying out for a left back. We got no good left backs in the England squad.
He's definitely getting called up.
I think he get called up, but there's quite a few. I think you've got Lewis Skelly batting with him, Lewis Hall doing well as well.
Yeah.
So I think now we're slowly getting it. But I agree with you. I looked at him, his temperament was fantastic. And you know, I'm in East London. I live not too far from the old stadium, and I grew up in West Ham around the young players coming through. You know, you had can't remember what the guy's name in it was. It Cole, someone with girl. Yeah. So we had all these great youngsters coming through, and this is what West Ham are about. Like, this is what draws a lot of the fans to them. So seeing that, I can see why you guys are proud. Obviously, I was frustrated, but honestly, I was breaking it down with my dad after, and I'm like, why am I praising you? Like, it's hurting me, you know. But no, but listen, credit where due. And I think it was you, Jay, when you talk about Mohamed Kudus. That performance has been missed for a while.
Yeah,
like, that was absolutely fantastic. There was a time he bounced off someone, and when you're playing someone like Arsenal, you need someone that can do that, someone that can bounce off, hold the ball, kick it up there. You know, like Mikel Antonio, prime one, hold it up, everyone runs. And that's what Kudus brings to you. And when I watched that, I went, maybe that's the winger we need. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a player. So
I just felt, for me, with Scarles, I thought he was excellent. He done one bad pass in the whole game, and when I look back on the game, and I did go back and have a look at it, he was flawless, like simply flawless. And West Ham, when you go to the Emirates, you've got to be 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. A lot of these players were 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? And they was all excellent in their roles. And for such a young lad to come in under pressure to a point because he's taken over Emerson's role, and whatever people think of Emerson's the more experienced player, and Scholes is the up and comer. I thought he handled it brilliantly. I thought the whole of our defence was solid. I think Todibo was excellent, Kilman was excellent. I'm going to shout out Aaron Cresswell. I'm not his biggest fan, but I've got to give him his flowers on this one. I thought he was super. I thought he helped Scholes massively. He told him when to go, when to get back, when to sort of engage, when not to engage. And I thought there's not enough credit given to Aaron Cresswell in that role. If you go back and see him, he's talking to him consistently, and he helped that man through. Matt, why did it go so wrong for you though on Saturday? Like from your side.
We just, as I said, we just don't fare well against them type of teams when you play like that. And I hate it when Arsenal fans will say, oh, do you know why they play like that? They play like this against that team. It's when you're playing Arsenal, that's how you've got to line up. And West Ham did it perfectly. As you said, your back four were fantastic. I do think Todibo's a good player, but he hasn't really shown it this season. That game, he looked very good. I was watching compilations as well. He looked good. But I look at players like that and I think to myself, I'm reading the bottom as you're talking. Oh, God.
We'll get to it in a minute.
But I think Arteta overthought it. But you guys were great. Potter had it on smash. And that's what you need now. And that performance there has to be your base. There's no point of beating us and then going and losing or dropping points to Leicester. And that's been West Ham's problem for a long time. For us, I think the league's done now. I did say, James, if it's double digits, even that's not officially done, tomorrow against Forest, is it Wednesday, sorry, if Forest beat us, nail and buried. But yeah, we just overthought it. I think Arteta just thought, we can just get through West Ham, do, as we did away. But West Ham set up very well. Honestly, there's nothing else I can really say. I'm
going to be honest. I'm going to just say, John, I'll let you land. I thought everything we'd done on the weekend was perfect in each regard. Formation, discipline, strategy of the game. I think, as you said earlier, scoring the goal at just before half time was bang on the money. It gave us a platform to build on and basically say, right, come on, Arsenal, you'll have to come forward and we're going to hit you on the break. I am going to get to say it later on in regards of, is that a bit of an old Moyes coming back there, or is that just a new generation of Potter? But that's another story. But Jay, what was you going to say, mate?
I had a couple of questions because I'm really interested in some of the fallout from an Arsenal perspective. Right, what did you make of Martin Odegaard's performance? Because I see a lot of very mixed reviews from him. How did you feel he played?
I thought he was extremely poor. I think what saddens me about him, we missed him. He'd only got an injury for Norway. I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do without him? And when he came back, I expected like an impact. He hasn't performed well at all. I know I think he had a little one and everything like that, but he just doesn't seem the same player. And my thing is, as a captain, I need a captain that is just in it. Like in the midst of it, a centre-back, a central midfielder. And I've always said, give it to Rice as time goes on. I think Rice is the ideal captain for our club. I don't know if Martin Odegaard's got in him to get, to really rally the troops. And also, I don't know if you saw the one where Trossard ran with the ball and he ran in between. And I was like, why not just back off into the space and then get it? Then he had the free kick when he could have whipped it in and he passes it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
we were buzzing. Like,
I could not believe he played that shot.
Mad,
you know what I mean?
I sat there and I watched it and I was like, what a result.
But you see that free kick there, yeah? That is the type of free kick where you put Declan Rice on it. The way he whips the ball in, those are the type, we scored against you guys, I think, at your stadium. What Rice delivers were fantastic, but Odegaard has been awful. For me, it's going to sound very, very controversial when I say this. I would sell him.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. I've got a question for you. Declan Rice. I see a lot of Arsenal fans coming at him today. Decline Rice, they've been calling him, and people are saying that he's playing for West Ham yesterday or Saturday. What did you make of him? Because I don't think he done a lot bad other than the goal, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think the only game I've seen him play well was the one away when he scored the goal against you lot. It must be hard. That genuinely, it must be difficult for him. We forget because they're these global superstars. He's playing against a club that he grew up through the ranks. So he's naturally seen him. He's got loads of friends there. You could see at the end of the game when he saw Jared Bowen. He's probably wanted to give him a hug and all that, but he's like, no, we lost. I can't do that. I'll tweet you after type thing. So I can imagine naturally, we've all been there. Imagine you're playing your friend, you're playing each other, your rivals, but it's like, you overthink things. You're not doing stuff you usually do because it's a bit different in terms of opposition. Arsenal fans, I don't know what they expect from Rice. I think we're trying this whole. I think Arteta's messing up right now by trying to get into that role of the box-to-box thing. He's a DM. His best position, or when he plays best for us, Man City at home, biting into the tackles. England as well, the same thing. So it's Arteta overthinking it that's killing it. And I could see his frustration on the weekend. And I know you were messing around. I think it was you, James, and you were like, "Oh, I want to go City or something." I was going to comment. I thought, let me keep quiet. Yeah. But it's frustrating for him because that's not what he's designed to do. Eventually, in time, when we get a proper DM, maybe Rice can do that, but we don't have the DM for him to do that.
I think what it is. Go on, Jay. I'll let you go.
I was just going to say, just on that, he only had one corner in front of us in that first half, as you both know. I've never seen someone look so scared to come over to the corner flag just to take the corner. Yeah. Like again, I don't know what angles you were seeing on TV at the time, but the corner's given. And he could not have come over any slower. And he went over, I think he went over to Odegaard or someone and said something in his ear. It wouldn't have surprised me if he was like, "Do you want to take it?" or something on those lines. But like quite genuinely, he knew he was in for some treatment. And it's very interesting because there's, again, a lot of Arsenal fans who are asking why do West Ham fans hate him. I don't think there's a lot of like out and out hatred for the bloke. I think it still comes from a place of pain. We've watched that kid grow up from like a 16-year-old kid when he came into the side to become a man, to lead us to win a trophy. Yeah. The way that he conducted himself when he left, meeting Arteta in like January or something, whilst we were still embroiled in like a relegation fight effectively and still competing for European silverware, was a really poor way to conduct himself. So I think there is a lot of animosity from that, but it also comes from a place of pain. So like you could see on his face when he come over and he was getting dog's abuse, and he just looks up and gives a little clap to the fans. Like he wanted to be loved, but he knew that he knew he was in for it. But like that will get in anyone's head, really. Like that looked like it proper rattled him.
He hasn't played well against West Ham apart from that one, innit? Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. West Ham fans respect Rice in a sort of a weird way because what he done with us. Yeah. We know how good the geezer is, and West Ham fans will get on his back because we don't want him to succeed. Like at the end of the day, when you play for West Ham United and you leave and you want to go and win trophies somewhere else, West Ham fans don't want to hear that. Do you know what I mean? West Ham fans want you to play for the claret and blue. And I think with Rice, it's a mixed bag. People were booing him because they want to get in his head. And West Ham fans have a knack of getting into people's heads and derailing a player in a game, and we know how to do it perfectly. We know how to sing songs about it. We know how to rattle a lot of fan bases through doing that. But I don't think he's ever hated. Listen, we appreciate what that geezer done for us, and I'm going to be honest. I was gutted when he left, because I could see West Ham building towards the future, and for him to leave and go somewhere else, it's like one step forward, 5 steps back. To round it up from the Arsenal side with you, Matt, Arteta, what are you saying?
So just be quickly before Arteta, I'm just alluding to what you both just said about Rice. I think Rice as well, he's just type of player, he holds the emotion. You know, some of them players, they can go on the pitch and blank it out, and after the game, it's whatever. I think Rice is that type where you can imagine before the game, maybe wrong, sitting with a family going, "Oh, we've actually got him tomorrow at home." Like, no, genuinely.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because he has such a love for West Ham, and I see it when he plays. And I'll never sit there and go, "Oh, you're so crap," because I understand what he must be feeling. He must be dreading it. And like Jay said, when he's got the corner, he's probably thinking, "I don't want no corners today," you know. Like I'd rather be the other side. No, but I can imagine. So I think that's what Arsenal fans have to jump on everything straight away. Your Twitter, it's all this is, but just relax. I think the next game we're going to see Declan Rice probably against Forest go. That's what he brings, but it's different because of who you're playing. Yeah. So that's what I want to say on that. In terms of Arteta, it's a hard one. You know, James, I always said Arteta right if we don't win a trophy. My only thing is I don't know who in the board is causing a problem. Is it Arteta wants these players or the superstars and they're saying no, or is Arteta saying no to getting certain players in? So, for example, Anika Williams or Barcola from PSG, because I'm hearing Arteta's bringing it to the board, and the board are going, nah. So something's got to change. I'm hearing rumors that we may get Dan Ashworth or this other guy as a sporting director and rejig the top and whatever. That's what has to change. The only thing I will say about Arteta, two things actually. I think sometimes how he is in the touchline doesn't really help a lot of the players. He's a bit too much sometimes. I'm not saying to be as chilled as a Postecoglou, yeah, but you just gotta just relax a bit. Just put the calm into the players. You saw it with Graham Potter on the weekend. You know what I mean? And that's why you got the type of performance you got. And he overthinks a lot. Overthinks too much. Like too many tactics. Look when Saka got injured. Easy option. Ethan Nwaneri, put him at right wing. No, he decided to go Martinelli out there, Trossard in the left, mix it up. You know, Havertz was in a red zone of being injured. You bring someone in on the loan. They chose not to. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm upset about it. I'm just frustrated because we're always close as Arsenal fans. We're very, very close.
Let me ask you this question. If he doesn't win you nothing, is it one more year for him?
If they get a new sporting director and they decide to go with him into the summer, he gets one more for me. And another reason why he gets one more, because I'm telling you now, if we don't win anything next season, we're losing 2-3 of them superstars. Because they're getting itchy feet now. Players like Declan Rice, he's just kind of started, so he won't get to that point yet. But your Sakas, your Salibas, maybe Gabriel Martinelli might go somewhere else, and we're getting to that point, and that's not what I want to see, because this 5-year project was supposed to bang after year 4 or 5. And we're in a position now where Man City are now building. They bought all these players. Liverpool are done their thing with Arne Slot. Brighton are always cooking as they're doing. Forest getting, but all these teams behind are starting to get better. So if you don't win it when you're high, as you're coming down, the rest should take over you. And then we're going to find ourselves in a position where we're doing the 4th, 5th, 6th thing. And that's not what I want to see.
I understand that. Jay, any final words for Matt before I let him go?
Hold. Just hold, bro. That's it. No, I thoroughly enjoyed the day out. The Emirates is a nice little playground for us by now. It's great. It's just good fun. No, fair play. Like a great Arsenal fan to have on. It's good to have like intelligent conversation. And in fairness, I expected a lot of toys being thrown out of a lot of prams from the Arsenal side of things. But the majority of what I've seen is people just going, yeah, like West Ham done us. I think there are problems at Arsenal. Like I say, we did exactly what teams have been doing to us. We just pushed forward and went, go on and go over the top or go through us, and there wasn't an answer for it. Look, I won't sit here and go, yeah, I hope Arsenal do well for the rest of the season. I think the Declan Rice thing still is very painful for a lot of us.
Yeah, of course.
The last thing I was going to say on that is I reckon there's an area, like there's a part of him that knows what he threw away to go and try and win things. Yeah. So every time that Arsenal aren't winning something, he goes, I threw away like captaining a great club and being loved by an entire fan base to come to this club to win things. And every time they go out of a competition, he's probably looking at it going, well, this ain't what I came for. And you say he's not going to go anywhere. Give it another couple of seasons. If there's no more trophies, I wonder whether his agent or whether he starts going, do you know what? I don't know what I'm doing here. And whether he starts twerking for someone else, I got no idea.
I think with him, he's in a 2-3 year bracket one. I agree.
Yeah, 100.
But what I'm saying is, I think you've got the likes of a Saka and the Salibas where it's 1 year. You've literally got one more year. So yeah,
I think for me to round it up is that I'm going to be polite to Matt because I like that. But I just feel with the Arsenal side of things, nothing changes until you get rid of Arteta. Yeah, I feel Arteta is a manager that builds you up to a level, and then lets you go. Then you have to let him go to bring in the person to do the job. I don't think Arteta's the guy. I think with us, we know how to play you at the Emirates. We know how to sit there in the low block. And I'm going to be honest. I said it on the afterthought on Saturday. Once we scored, I never felt in any danger that Arsenal were going to score too. Yeah. And if you're feeling comfortable like that, the Emirates, then we're going to have a great day. Do you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. We take the 3 points, and we look forward to seeing you again next season. I bet you do,
Matt. Both of
you. Matt, thanks for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it, as always. Go and follow that man's channel, Back of the Net podcast on YouTube. Put it in, subscribe to the man's channel. Matt's a good Arsenal fan, mate. Honestly,
come on, guys, come on.
He's a humble Arsenal fan. You know what I mean? And you just got to stay humble, ain't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
100% on that.
Fair play.
I was trying to get your
Thanks
words
for having me
out.
on, man.
I was trying to get your words out. And Matt, take care, mate.
I appreciate
All
it.
the
Take
best to
care,
you, man.
Pete.
Peace.
Cheers,
That's
mate.
been Matt. Top man. Absolute top man. Go and subscribe to his channel. Help the man out. He might support Arsenal, but it is what it is. But what do you make of what was said there, mate?
Just in general, like mate, I'm just elated, like overall for us in general. I feel like when you look at that performance, we haven't had anything to shout about all season. And you look at what we've been through over the course of the year. We were promised the world. We were delivered absolutely nothing. And we're on our third manager in the space of, like 7 months, 8 months, whatever it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
And to finally have like all of the release of seeing the players just put in the type of performance that we expect from them. Not that we want from them, that we expect and we deserve from them. So to have been among the traveling fans for like one of my 2 away days and to like see it in the flesh and experience it with everyone was just like unbelievable. It was literally like a party at full time. It was incredible. So couldn't be happier for everyone and for all of our fans. And it's just deserved, mate. It's just totally deserved.
I'm going to ask you something. Yeah, because that setup at the weekend worked wonders. Yeah. How do we go around it now moving forward? Because could that be the springboard that West Ham need to kick them up the arse and say they're actually a good side? I mean, because listen, we're not mugs. We've got some good players in our ranks, but it's just for the first time this season, I see West Ham play as a team, and I'm going to say it. I am going to say it. They was united. They was all together. They was all fighting for the shirt. They was all playing for the claret and blue badge and everything else. And it meant something to them. They wanted to go there and not lose that game on Saturday. What do you say to that, Jay?
So again, if you look at the characters that were on that pitch, because it's not about ability, and I want to talk about like certain players that played. If we touch again on what James Ward-Prowse brings to the sides, right? He's not like a glamorous footballer. He's not the most exciting footballer that you could have playing in a West Ham shirt, but he leads that press. He led that midfield. And he led from the front. He led by example. And when if you cast your mind back to the start of the season, when we were completely bereft of leaders in that side, people were questioning whether Jared Bowen's the right captain and we didn't know who was doing what. You bring back a guy who was massively disrespected by big areas of our fan base, and he drops an absolute fantastic performance where he didn't do anything glamorous, but he made interceptions, he made tackles, he passed the ball where he needed to, but he was always in the right position defensively as well. It makes sense. You add into that a player like Ollie Scholes, a youngster who knows what it means to have worked really hard in a youth academy to finally get his chance. He knows he's good enough and he's got the faith of the manager, and he comes in and drops out an absolute 10 out of 10 performance. Like, I cannot fault him at all. And that kid's 18 years old? So you just combine certain characters. That team is not that different to what we've seen go out and play in games like that so far this season. It's not that different at all. But it's the difference in just having types of characters and giving them the belief that they can go out and they can do something. And you've then got players like Mohamed Kudus, who he is still really low on confidence. I'm gutted that he made the wrong decision in the night. I think, was it like the 90th minute when him and Ferguson go through? It was either drive at goal and bang one or play it through for Ferguson straight away. And he did neither. And he ended up playing a ball behind Ferguson. I was gutted for him, but he put in such a good performance. I look back at that and I go, well, it's there. Like, it will come. That just comes with confidence. And you give it another few weeks and he probably scores a couple of goals in the next like 4 or 5 games and he'll be back to his old self. And, like that's the direction we need to go in. I have faith that we have talented players at this club. We've got nothing really to play for the rest of the season. We're miles clear of the relegation zone. We're miles off of the European places. But if I see more spirited performances like that, then I say this formation and this setup, I'm 100% happy with it. I think the 3-4-3 or the 5-3-2 or whatever you want to call it, that's going to be where Potter leans the majority of the season and probably moving forward, especially away from home. It's at home against Leicester next game when we ain't going to have the the ability to go, first of all, we're gonna sit at like a high line with the 5, and then we're gonna drop off, and you're gonna have to just take the game to them. And that's historically where West Ham have struggled. And we did it at their place, didn't we? We absolutely dominated, and we just couldn't put the ball in the net. So this is where you'll figure out, have we got the change in formations and have we got the style completely right for us to move forward and then move back to the level that we expect?
Is it a case that Potter's got to find the creativity when breaking teams down there? Because Arsenal fell into our hands to a point at the weekend because they was always coming forward. We always had that threat on the break with Bowen and Kudus. We played a game plan which worked. Now against Leicester on Thursday night, they're gonna come and they're gonna literally try and do what we done against Arsenal the other day. They're gonna sit there in a low block, they're gonna try and frustrate us, they're gonna try and nick a goal and try and nick some sort of result there. I think what Potter's got to do, in my opinion, is he's got to try and find the creative spark when we have to try and break a team down, because I think that's the one thing West Ham lack is creative players when teams come and basically low block the shit out of us to a point.
So I'll go back to something that Potter said before he joined, or when he joined, about numerical advantages and like how he finds numerical advantages. He did it yesterday. Not yesterday, sorry. Was it Saturday? God, I was so hungover yesterday. He did it Saturday, right? And he was looking for those numerical advantages either in the air at the back post, or he just uses Aaron Wan-Bissaka so well. How we've now got like the most exciting attacking wing back in like the Premier League is just beyond me. No one would have seen this coming. But that's the kind of areas that I think he'll be really good at, is figuring out, first of all, we've got Evan Ferguson's coming to the team, so that's another 20 odd minutes or so that he's played. He's going to be getting fitter and fitter, and just the difference that gives you and means that teams aren't able to just push the line higher, because Ferguson will vary his runs. He's a natural striker, so if they push too high, he's just going to run off the last man and they're going to cause themselves problems. So that will mean that it's harder for teams to actually push us back, which when we had Paqueta up front, Paqueta doesn't make those runs because he's not a centre forward. That will then allow Bowen to get back onto the right-hand side, where if he doesn't push him too wide, like he did last time out against Brentford, I think it was, and isolated him too far wide, he'll learn from that, and he'll look at that and go, okay, well, clearly when you get Bowen a little bit narrower and you have someone going outside of him, that's when he's at his best. So once he figures that out as well, I think the creativity will be there. It's just about dragging the players into the right spaces to give someone space outside the box or in a half space or something like that will allow us to beat teams like that.
I'm going to ask you a question. I got asked this question on Early Doors Football TV the other day. Did we really miss Lucas Paqueta on Saturday?
Probably not. I'd say we absolutely didn't. I'd say the way that we went about the performance was perfect. The system was great. And Mo stepped into that role brilliantly, because Mo offers you something different. Paqueta's so like, I haven't got anything bad to say about him, because like since Potter's come in, he's looked really good. But he's the kind of player that we will potentially miss against Leicester. That's the kind of game where you'd go, if you had Paqueta operating in like the 10, where Leicester will probably sit in a low block and you're going to need someone to try and unlock a defence. Yeah, we might look at that and go, geez, we wish we had Lucas Paqueta back. But in a system and against a team like Arsenal, when you're away from home and it's all about transitions and it's all about getting up the pitch as quickly as you can, Kudus is the man. Kudus and Bowen as your front two is absolutely perfect. So yeah, I'd say from Brian, shout out Brian, like that's a perfectly valid question. I'd say no, we didn't miss him at all.
Let's talk about Graham Potter, but before we do, Damien, if you want to come on, the link's there. Come on, have your say, mate, before I make a move in a minute. Let's talk about Graham Potter. What a team selection. I see it before the game. People were going mad saying, how are we going to score a goal? Harry got that so right. And I mean, when I say so right, I mean the 11, the balance, the discipline of the whole team, the strategy to slow the game down. I noticed every throw-in, every goal kick, every set piece, they were taking their time, West Ham. They were frustrating the life out of Arsenal. What did you make of Potter, mate, in all?
Mate, he was 10 out of 10. He was absolutely 10 out of 10. Like I say, it's just nice to look at the team set up and be like, you can see what they've worked on. You could distinctly see what they'd worked on. You could see the high line in the first half. You could see how they compressed the game. You could see the rotations on the right-hand side when we were trying to find Ward-Prowse so that you had your best like deliverer of the ball, putting the ball to the back post for your best header of the ball. it was so deliberate. We knew that we were going to get very few opportunities to actually play like football. And when we did, you knew exactly what we were doing. And it was just brilliant. Like, so I'm super impressed with everything that Potter's done so far. We've had some tough ones. You look at the losses to Palace, the losses to Brentford, and you go, yeah, Christ, like they were bad losses, but we're still learning. Like he's still figuring out what his best team is. He's still figuring out who plays in certain positions. So, mate, super impressed with what he's done, and long may it continue. If we get back-to-back wins now, like the mood will be really good around the club.
I completely agree. Damien, welcome. What do you want to say, mate?
Come on, you Irons. Come on, you Irons. Come on, you Irons. Listen, yeah. Fantastic from Potter. It's one thing drawing up the game plan. It's another thing getting people to buy into it and execute it perfectly. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. In terms of Arsenal, I see it in the game at the end, at the interview at the end of the game with Arteta. Sorry to say, Arsenal fans, if you tune into this later or you're in the chat, but Arteta's heart is gone, and it's going to take him a little while to find it again. His eyes looked a little bit. The eyes, Chico, they never lie. They never lie. His eyes looked gone. Yeah, he didn't like that one. He didn't like that one. And taking Rice off during 60 minutes, yeah. Confusion.com. He should have let Rice ride that one out, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, looking from the outside in, right? I think he should have let Rice ride that one out, personally. But me personally, when I looked at Arteta, now I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I don't spend too much time thinking about Arsenal, even though my family has got a lot of Arsenal fans in it. But and I'm not going to talk about Arsenal too much because it's about West Ham. But I think that may be it for Arsenal's title charge. I've just got a feeling. I think that might be it for them. In terms of West Ham, Potter, absolutely fantastic. I didn't have faith we'd get 3 points. Love it. Pragmatism. To the people who used to cry about pragmatism all the time, I'm glad you've got over that period in your life. Fantastic. Pragmatism works sometimes. We don't want to be that team all the time, in my opinion, but at the end of the day, I'll leave it to Potter to decide, because I'm seeing a lot of good signs. I agree with people who've said the results may not be reflective of how well we've done in certain situations, certain games. He's still learning the group. So I think I'm really positive. Right. This is what I was going to say about West Ham, right? In January, there was a question going around regarding priorities, right? What do West Ham need? Basically, where do we need to put our money? Where does this first chunk of change need to go? And my priority was manager striker, neck and neck, yeah? I was like, you could give Lopetegui a striker, or you could just him off and get a better coach to coach with him. We got the coach. Fantastic. Yeah. I feel like he is the right man to back. All behind Potter. We have to get all behind Potter. If he has I'm looking at the response on social media. Mate, as soon as West Ham post a video on social media, there's 60 positive messages behind it, whereas other weeks there's been like 20 kind of sour ones. We all need to get behind Potter.
I just want to say this. Right?
If I'm Potter, let me just say one last thing, and I don't mean to put added pressure on anyone, but if I'm Potter, I'm making sure that I get my work done up until Thursday to produce a result. I don't care about performance. I don't care if it goes in off Souček's arse. I want to win against Leicester. I don't want to set the bar too high. I'm not saying go and get me European football or finish in the top 10 or anything. We have to beat Leicester. I don't care if it goes in off Souček's arse.
Yeah, but
I don't care if Bowen and Kudus get a hat-trick each. I want 3 points. I want 3 points.
right. I want to fucking speak.
Go on, brother.
Right.
Go on, brother.
What
I've been
I'm
waiting. I've been waiting. The
I
Arsenal fan threw me, bro. The Arsenal fan threw me. This is
I know he
West
did.
Ham
Right.
territory.
All I'm going to
West
say
Ham
is this.
territory.
Right. What I'm going to say is this: is that Potter needs time to do the work and do the job in hand. He ain't going to turn West Ham into an absolute world-class team in 8 weeks. Ain't going to happen, right? So he needs time, right? He deserves time, yeah. And with his fan base, we need to give him time. What I'm liking about Potter is he's drilling these players into having a plan. And with Lopetegui, we had no plan at all. We had no fucking plan. He was turning up, and players were all over the place and didn't know what the fuck they was doing to a point. And it was getting borderline embarrassing. Yeah, when we're watching our team get destroyed, and we're looking at players and they're looking at each other and thinking like, who's picking up who, where, and when. Damien, who was the best player for you on Saturday?
I have to, me personally, I'll say Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Personally, that's my man of the match. But there's other people. I thought. Listen. I think I've said this since he joined the club, and really since I started watching East when he's on TV. I can never score Jared Bowen any less than a 7.5 out of 10. He just does everything he's supposed to every single game. I thought Alvarez played well. I think Alvarez was effective in that midfield. I think Potter probably, I've got a feeling he was a big part of Potter's game plan because, he cut out a lot of what was going on that side. Kudus, me personally, people coming away, I don't know whether this is the euphoria of winning, unexpectedly winning. I don't think it was Kudus' best game for West Ham. I know Kudus is an amazing player.
Me.
I love Kudus. I love Kudus. I know what Kudus is. I know Kudus is the absolute... he's brilliant. But... I don't think it was Kudus' best game. He was brilliant. He's always brilliant, to be honest. But me personally, I'll give it to AWB. I think he's been fantastic, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think he's been absolutely brilliant since the minute he arrived. I do agree with what people were saying. Sometimes he looks a little bit less keen, and this didn't happen against Arsenal, but there has been tiny periods in the season where he looks less willing to get back than go forward. But people have to remember these players are only human. They're not just going to sprint around 90 minutes every single time. A lot of that has to do with coaching and stuff like that. So me personally, I'll give it to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. For me personally, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is probably a hammer of the year so far. We're under a good coach. So lads, if you're listening, you've all got a chance to make up the difference. But I'll go Aaron Wan-Bissaka. My man of the match is Aaron. He wins that ball so much.
Right, what Damien has. Right, Jay, anything you want to add on to that before let Damien go?
I think Damien's covered it all. I get what Damien's trying to say.
I haven't even touched on it, Jay. I haven't even touched on it. They all did fantastically. I want Potter to do what he's doing. Little signs like Edson Alvarez going to hug him at the end of the game. Brilliant. I love it. You're my guy, Edson Alvarez. We like you, Edson Alvarez. All these things. Potter, it does feel nice to have a manager you can trust on an emotional level. You can trust him. It's beyond tactics. It's emotional, man. So in Graham Potter we trust.
He's deep in shit on this Monday night. Go on, son. Carry on.
In Graham Potter we trust, bro. In Graham Potter we trust, man. Listen, anything that's said to Graham Potter at this point, I don't see what if it can go any further than just really constructive criticism. You know what I mean? Like, I would do this, I wouldn't do this, but he's doing good. He's doing well. And to be honest, I hope he keeps on going that way. I hope people perceive him here for a very long time, because I would. I think it's important for those players to know that Potter's here for a long time, bro. Like Potter's the man right now. I don't think Potter should be perceived to be treading on any rocky grounds or anything. I'll just back Graham Potter. I'd rather wait 3 years for Potter to get success than change. So there you go. I'm backing Potter. 100%.
Fair enough. When Damien speaks, we just listen. Damien,
so lay off him, lads. Lay off him, lads. If he has a bad game, we're all entitled to a mistake. You know what I mean? No one's perfect, but
I know. Peace, Damien.
Brilliant.
That has been Damien. When he speaks, I'll just say fuck all. Simple as that. Right, let's get this man in. Rich, welcome.
Tough act to follow, gentlemen. Tough act to follow. I've just finished work. I look a bit of a mess, so I'm going to go for the camera off approach. You know what I mean?
No worries. Take it away.
Yeah, actually, that's not fair on the viewership. You know, I work hard on my looks. I go to the gym often. I'm new. This is just a lie. It's just bollocks. Where am I going with this? That's just weird. What a weird. I've had a terrible day. Look, that was weird. Can we rewind? Is this live?
We're in the twilight zone here on E20 tonight. What is going on?
Is this live?
Yes, it is live. Will you talk to us and tell us about West Ham, mate?
Oh, West Ham. West Ham United Football Club. I was at the game, just like you, Jay. I think, bro looks at your Twitter. Lucas and Mitchell were 2 rows in front of me. So it was an honor to see them sort of celebrate. No, this is genuine. Lucas actually at the end of the game lifted me off the ground and spun me in the air like the Michael Antonio celebration. It was an emotional moment for all involved. Oh, right. I've just looked at the YouTube comments. They are absolutely violating me. What is that about?
Right. Will you tell us about the fucking game, bro?
What's there to say about the game? Look, it was a boring defensive low block performance. I mean, anyone who thinks that's football should be shot. It was a disgrace from Potter. You know, Graham Potter, it's nearly Christmas. And he's gone out and he's set up a team like that to play football, inverted commas. It's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, well, I mean,
don't
take drugs, people. You're not like that man now.
If I was a twat, what I'm saying instead is Graham Potter is the greatest thing to ever happen to me in my life.
I know, mate. I know. I actually remember when you was telling us back in the day that you wanted Potter from the start. So yeah, I've got to give you credit there where credit's due.
He's a master communicator. He all of the players on that pitch knew exactly what they were. I'm turning the camera off, right? They knew exactly. See, look at that. Imagine. They all knew exactly what they were supposed to be doing. Every single one, man to man. They knew when to go, when to sit, when to go. It was magnificent. And these are not brilliant footballers. We've been shit all year. Yeah, we've been dreadful all year, right? And he's masterminded this. It's like the Fulham game. He just puts these plans together with very little in front of him. And Arsenal, they've lost 3 times at the Emirates since the start of last season. We've done it twice. 2 of the best West Ham managers in history, David Moyes, MBE, followed by Sir Graham Potter. My only worry is this guy, I said it before, he's going to get the England job after Tuchel. He's going to get the Real Madrid job after Ancelotti. This geezer is a genius. I mean, it was the most mesmerizing, magnificent, marvelous performance I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was astonishing.
What can I say? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, other drugs are available, people. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying that. Kid, there you go. Lost for words. Lost for words. What do you make of Ollie Scholes, Rich?
Ollie Scholes got me emotional after the game. Graham Potter, he was actually holding back tears in his post-match conference. You can see the exact moment. Someone goes, Graham Potter, a word on Ollie Scholes. And he goes, I need more than a word. I need more than a word. I'd write an essay on Ollie Scholes. I'd write a book on that geezer. The way this fella has come into the team. And look, he's not perfect. Yeah, he's a kid. He's a kid, but he was going up against Ethan Nwaneri, who has made a lot of whatever his name is. He's made a lot of defenders look silly this year. Yeah, he's a really talented footballer, and you could see that at the weekend. But he did such a job on him. Yes, he had Cresswell behind him, but Scholes also had a bit about him going forward as well. But Graham Potter, the master communicator, he knew when to go, when to sit back. It was brilliant, and he played so well. The level of self-assurance required to step up at the Emirates and play like that, the level of self-belief you need to have.
I want you to say his name out loud. Say his name.
Oliver Scholes.
Say it again.
Why?
Because he deserves a round of applause for that.
Oliver Scholes.
He deserves a round of applause. There you go.
James Fever.
You can call me whatever you like. You know what I mean? Here's what it is. Any final words, Rich, before I let you go?
What words? What words can you say? Listen,
I will give you some words. Don't do nothing on the Monday Club in the Witherspoons. That's the first thing. 100%. You've definitely been out on a sesh. I can tell. But you know, any final words from you, mate?
Look, we've got a West Ham back. Yeah, we've got a West Ham back. Do you know what? Nah, it was brilliant. Yeah, David Sullivan's a bit of a turnip. Yeah, and I will be delighted the day that chap leaves our club. No two ways about it. And I was in the queue. Stood by me as a man who should be banned. He wasn't. He was there. It was a guy called Paul Colborne. Yeah, stuck the flag in the centre pitch. I don't have a problem with him. I think it took admiration. He stood up and he did what he was right. He is in the queue. The entire club is dead. The club is dead. I don't know why I've come. Before the game, he goes, I don't know why I've come. I don't know why I'm here. You know, they killed the club when they left Upton Park. The club is dead. After the game, I'm in the toilets. He goes, oh, I've been in here the last 5 minutes to someone else. What? Huh? He's been hanging around the toilets. The geezer, you know, where am I going with this? I'm not accusing him of hanging around toilets. What I am saying instead is our club isn't dead. Yeah.
Our club isn't dead, but your fucking brain is, son. Honestly, 100%. Your brain's fucking dead.
Our club is alive. Thanks to Graham Potter. He's got the defibrillators out, and he just.
Yeah, he's saved your bacon. Rich, I'm gonna let you go, mate. You take it easy. Yeah, all the best here. That has been Rich. Don't do drugs. Don't do drink. And stay away from the hard stuff on Monday evening. Jay, any final words from you, mate? I'm stunned. I love doing this YouTube game sometimes, I must admit.
Absolute nightmare blunt rotation on E20 this evening. Absolute, like, I actually don't know what's just happened over the last 20 minutes. Like, I'm baffled.
Well, welcome to West Ham, mate. Honestly, when we win a game, we're all buzzing. He's fucking literally buzzing off his fucking tits to come. So there you go. But yeah, listen, I'm going to be straight and honest about it. I'm pleased for every fan that's gone through the shit this year, because we've gone through the shit. Let's be real. And whether you like certain opinions or you don't, at the end of the day, yeah, we deserve that win. Yeah, at the weekend. We needed it as a fan base. Yeah, we really did need it as a fan base. I love when everyone's together. When everyone's together, we are solid as a rock, mate, and we are very, very hard to break down. When we're divided, it's just never nice. But for me, yeah, like Oliver Scholes is a fucking talent. He's a talent, and if we can bring through a couple of these other lads, and listen, give Potter a transfer window, next season could be special. It could be a special season. I'm not against Potter. Anyone who's sitting there who's against Potter right now, they've got an agenda. They must have a fucking agenda. If they're against Potter right now, in any shape or form, they must be against the man. Yeah, because it's just not normal. The geezer's only been here, what? Fucking hell. 7 weeks? Like, he's not a miracle worker, is he? Let's be real. So I'm pleased for Potter. I'm pleased for West Ham. I'm pleased for the fan base. And yeah, Don't be like Rich and do drugs on a Monday night. I will say that.
Monday night. Christ,
Well, it's
what a
Monday
night.
Club, isn't it? Fucking Witherspoon's finest. You know what I mean? Everyone's out on the smosh. Any final words from you, sir?
Just happy. I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. I'm looking forward to Thursday again. We go again, weekend and Thursday. God, it's good to be back. Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, up the bastard West Ham.
Right, I will say this because I'll get the mic near me. Thank you very much for everyone who's been watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV, and hit the notification bell. Don't do spoons on Monday night if you want to come on here. That's what I'm going to say. That's a new rule from there on. Do you know what I mean? And it is what it is. But one thing I will say before I round this right up is that every fan deserved that win at the weekend. Yeah, we've had a shit season. Yeah, with a manager that was no good to a manager that knows what he's doing. All we've got to do is get right is that transfer window in the summer. If we get that right, we can do something next season, 100%. And I'll be there backing it all the way to the bank. Don't get on Potter's case. He's a man who's a builder. He needs the tools and the materials to do the job. He will have the tools and materials to do the job in the summer window. And to all the Arsenal fans, stay humble. Just remember that. Stay fucking humble out there, because there comes a time where you get bitten on the arse. And you just got massively bitten on the arse at the weekend by the boys in claret and blue. And we fucking love it. We certainly do. Anyway, from me to you, take care of yourselves. Subscribe to the channel, like the video and all that game. And I will see you again in the next one.